To approve the minutes from last month's meeting. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, so the motion carries. Thank you. Any public comments or?
No electronic public comment was received.
And no
public is present.
Great. Thank you, Hillary. Art Fund, I understand from Samantha, who, by the way, isn't feeling well, so we all wish her well. Not much has changed. Is it correct, Caitlin?
Yeah, not much has changed. And speaking on behalf of Sam, she says, we are contract to approve repairs for Sidewalk Judge for annual maintenance of KS Pamplona. And then we are still working with LC Studio Tuto to get a date scheduled for maintenance for the underpass mural. And expense approval previously from the TOY CF fund will be used for that. And then otherwise, we're just working on Art Sip Stroll right now, and we will be meeting for the jury process on this coming Thursday.
Yes.
We'll get to Art Sip and Stroll.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the Art Fund report. We finally did find a great company to wax Chaos Pamplona and refurbish the Sidewalk Judge. If you've looked at Sidewalk Judge,
Okay.
It's not in great shape, but it was hard to find somebody to restore it. The Seward Johnson Foundation wanted around $30,000 to do it.
Wow.
And we don't have that. So this company is out of Colorado. They do Benson Art Walk, and they're very highly regarded. So they come out here, as it turns out, because I just called them kind of on a, I don't know if they come out here or not, being from Colorado. And they do, I guess Silver Oaks has around 16 sculptures, and they maintain those once a year.
Oh.
So voila, they're going to be out here in the spring, and we're going to get.
Oh, good timing.
Yeah, it's
okay,
just perfect.
So we
It's
benefit
just-
from that.
That's
Do we know, like, or do you know, Rhonda, what do they specifically do when they go to do the restoration?
You know, it
Or what's
depends.
involved?
It depends on the two. Like we have two bronzes, but they're treated much differently because, first of all, we did a lot of work on Chaos last year, so it's been brought up from where it was up till last year. So this year there's a certain kind of wax, and they'll make sure they have the specifications that are Jed Novat's, the sculptors. It's a black waxing process, and they use a heat process.
Okay.
So we should notice the difference. It
Okay.
may not be night and day, but we should be able to see some of that whiteness go.
Okay.
And we can't do anything about our beloved birds. They're gonna,
Right.
they're gonna sit
That'll
up there
be
and.
interesting to know. I hope that we know, like, and obviously we will specifically, because I'd love to go and see what it is that they do.
Well, we announced it last year.
Okay.
When the company came, and we certainly will this year. Caitlin did a great assessment. What do you call it?
A condition
A
report.
condition report, particularly on Sidewalk Judge. And when I read it, I thought, nobody's ever going to want to do this sculpture. She did a very thorough job. But I sent it to Jo anyway, and she was very familiar with Seward Johnson's work. It has a whole different set of circumstances because it's painted bronze.
Okay.
And because his face has been pockmarked
Okay.
from the rocks in the road. And, if you really look at him, I don't know that I've never heard a comment being made, but we know if you're aware of great sculpture and his, particular, plus the town owns it, so we want to make it,
Yeah.
have it look good. It's long overdue. We thought we would get help from Seward Johnson's Foundation when we did the trays, and that didn't happen.
Okay.
So Caitlin did this great report. And this company from Colorado was like, okay, yeah, we get it.
Perfect.
And they gave us a quote. So we're really hopeful that this, they're going to meet our expectations. But they're two different. And if it was another bronzes they're expensive to maintain. And each one has its own set of circumstances. And there are finishes that the artists can put on the bronze so that it doesn't require all the waxing and so
Okay.
forth.
Okay.
And more are doing that because it is so expensive for municipalities or anybody's art
Right.
walk
Yeah.
to maintain them, or they're just not using bronze anymore.
Okay.
And there's a new substance out, looks like bronze, walks like bronze, quacks like bronze, but it's about half the cost and it's much lighter weight.
Was it resin?
So it is not resin. That was my question also, because there's an older one that was. This is pretty new, and it's called cold bronzing, and I'm sure that not all foundries do it, but the hope is that it will help perk up sales with.
Yeah.
And the process is different, so it's like the artist goes through another learning curve in order to
Right.
handle. So we'll see where that goes. I haven't seen any applications using that process, but our chef, he's not bronze. He looks like bronze, but
Okay.
he's that resin process.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, I like
Long
that.
long answer. Sorry.
No, I like it.
Okay.
So was the repair for that in? It's not a line item on this budget.
It was last year.
Okay. So
But-
you already put that in here, but it's not. It's going to happen sometime in the next month or so, or a couple months. The repair.
It's in Fund 23, according to Samantha.
Okay.
And if
And it should occur in the next month.
Yeah, April, I think they said. They're somewhat dependent on the weather, but I'm sure they're making plans because they have Silver Oak and they have now us. So I really hope it works out. They seem like really good people, and like I said, they were very highly recommended, and it just fell into place. So, yeah. So, okay. So then we'll move on to the art walk, which we've got a lot to talk about. If I may, I'm going to move the order. I'm going to ask that we consider the new sculpture before we review the novel idea bench. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
Is that okay with
Do we
Hillary?
have to motion to do that? Are we good?
It's on the agenda. It's just changing.
Since the agenda's been adopted, that is fine. I'll just note in the minutes that 8A and B were switched.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Hillary. So we have a sculpture by Chad Lefevre that is called Reciprocal. It's bronze. It is sealed, and he's updating the seal on it. And this is the pictures that we're showing. It was a sculpture or something similar to this that he sent us when he applied, but it had kind of I'm going to say not a very happy theme. And it bothered me, it bothered Sam. And so, but his technique is very nice. I think it's a really pretty sculpture. So I talked to him, and a couple weeks later he came back with the idea of putting this beautiful California bluebird on it, which I think is really sweet. And so David and Noel both weighed in, and they thought it was really sweet also. So if we approve it, the schedule would be for sometime in June, hopefully in the middle of June. So do you have any questions on it? Do you like
Probably
it?
going to attract a lot of birds. This might be one that needs a lot of cleaning.
Or just don't put it under a tree. Yeah. I wonder if it would.
Well, with the bird there, I don't know.
I don't know.
other curious birds might be stopping by.
Well, we're very friendly. So, any comments or anything? What do you think?
I
You
think
know how
it's kinda
David and I
cool.
feel.
I think it's kind of cool. I will say, when I look at it up there, my first thought was with that hollow face. It's kind of ominous, but it's very cool, though. I like it. I like it.
Is there a motion to approve? Or
I will move
Remind
to
me where
approve.
this one's going to go.
I knew somebody would ask.
I kept thinking I missed it, but then,
You don't miss anything, David. Well, it's the thing that's interesting about this piece. It's 18 by 18. Originally, he had said 24 by 24, which is small base by our standards anyway. But in his application, he's saying 18 by 18. So that's not very big, and it's prime for a small pad, of which we have where Circle of Trust is. And we also have a place in front of North Block that had untitled there. It's been gone for quite a while. And this would fit pretty well. Do you like it? For
Oh, yeah.
North Block, yeah. And I haven't talked to Heike about it because I wanted your thoughts and your approval going forward first. But if it looks like that's the best location, and if you have any thoughts, I'm certainly open to listening. Make sure she's okay with it. And I expect unless she really doesn't like it, I would expect she would like it, because she's looking for more sculptures for her property, and we just haven't been able to find anything that worked for that location. So,
Has it already been, it will be created specially for us because we're having the Bluebird.
right.
Okay, I see.
So, is that all right, David? If anybody has any other suggestions, I'm always interested in your thoughts as to where it might go. But we've pretty much eliminated outdated or out of contract sculptures, other than the ones that we want to keep, like Muse. So this would be something fresh, something in addition. One of our normal places, regular places.
I would move to approve this sculpture.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and second to approve Reciprocal by Chad Lefevre. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion carries unanimously. Thank you all. If you have any further thoughts, be sure and let me know. So now we're going to move on to the bench. As you recall, last meeting, we approved what we're calling a novel idea for the Yountville Art Walk, but we didn't firm up a subject matter. But we chose two themes to work on, and one of them was book titles, and the other one was, at that time, we were calling it an AVA. So Judy and I kind of ended up on the researching the wine side of it, and PJ got us started with the list of books, and Jeffrey chimed in, and I chimed in, so we've all been working together, and I want to say I really appreciate it, PJ and Judy and Jeffrey, because sometimes I feel like nobody's listening, and so Sam and I end up talking, and we work through something. But you guys were really hands-on in this, and it felt really good to have some dialogue with you, and all your suggestions were great. And, nonetheless, really no decision between any of us was made. But we do have the two lists that are in front of you on the agenda, and so let's take the wine theme. The wine theme is, no, I'm sorry. let's take the book titles. There has been a lot of work that has gone into both of these, and the book titles is, darn it, it's the most complicated. We have opinions. We have opinions on, are the book titles copyrighted? Is the look of a book with the book title on it trademarked? I went through AI and got a very reasonable explanation, basically saying that we would not be responsible because there's no copyright on book titles and so forth. And it went on and on. I have it if somebody wants to read that. And then we took that and talked to the town attorney, who basically said that there's no copyright on book titles. However, there's a gray area. We could get sued. So he had 4 recommendations. He said we could ask the artist for a statement of their position on why the use of books does not violate copyright or trademark, which might address the concerns and will help the town defend itself if a suit is filed in the future. So the second one is that we would require additional insurance from the artist. The third one is just accept the risk based on the protections that are in our Art Walk contract now. And the fourth one was to choose an alternative. So I also received a statement from Craig, the artist. This has never come up for him before, he says. However, this morning, he's had a lot of time to think about it. I think it was a week ago or so. I asked him for what his experience was. I didn't go into a lot of details, just, had he come up against this before? But he sent a very researched answer, pretty much what the others have said, and that is we would have the right to use the book titles, but, someone could take ownership of it and sue us. And also that he's not willing to assume the liability for it. I really wouldn't expect him to, and I wouldn't expect him to pay additional insurance. That's in our contract that we have insurance. So all agree that we would have to, or the best thing is to write to each of the authors of each of the books.
Okay.
And not ask their permission, more like informing them. Hey, we're going to use your book on this sculpture. Don't you love it? Please respond, or something like that. That sounds okay, except there are 16 books.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Could we, I don't want to interrupt you.
You're
Keep
not.
going.
No.
My first thought when I heard all of this is ask for forgiveness. I can't imagine that anyone would be upset. That would be
You should imagine it.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
You
But
should imagine
that would
it.
really be, and this pun is intended, like sour grapes from someone who's kind of getting, their name in the spotlight and their information,
Well, some people feel their name is their book, and
Is
I
their-
think
So, can I interject? And there's a couple thoughts in my mind about this, just because of the meaning that people assign to books and titles, even people that are well-meaning and probably wouldn't have an opinion. But having published a couple of books, my contract said the publishers, until the book came back to me, until the copyright was back under my control, they owned the title, they owned everything, every word. They owned every word. So you'd have to get the publisher's permission. I don't think the author could give you permission unless they still own the copyright.
But there is no copyright on book titles.
There are copyrights on the text of a book. So every book that comes out of the Library of Congress has a copyright date on it,
You
or a
know,
Library of Congress date on it. And so you know what I'm saying. It's just
Yeah,
that
I do.
I think that the title itself isn't necessarily copyrighted unless it's been marketed in some way. Like if, let's say, some famous author, Tony Robbins, writes a book, and then he puts out a seminar and a whole bunch of videos and then all kinds of other things, and they're all branded under his publisher. So it is a little tricky.
It's turned out to be very complicated. Every time I open my computer in the morning, there's another issue. And here's this beautiful bench with the theme of books, but
Maybe the name of the sculpture should be the Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah, to throw a total curve to everyone, looking at this, it says the story of Augusta. Is it possible we might put the story of Yountville?
that's what I'm
And
hoping
then,
for.
And then one of the books is the history of Yountville.
Right.
The story of George Yount. And we make up things.
Yeah, perhaps.
That are pertinent. Vandler Park. Certain things that are, of course, it requires a little bit more research than what I'm throwing out, but just some key things that are so integral to the town of Yountville, and just turn them into a book title.
Well, we have had that suggested. I haven't heard of any volunteers willing to try to get it done. Because it does take a lot of going back and forth with the other people who are working on it. Jeffrey is particularly good at this sort of thing. He leans towards a novel idea, but he hasn't heard all things that are cropping up, including what David just said. So let's leave that for a moment, and let's go to the wine themes. So the wine themes are a list of varietals. We started with the AVA, and it turns out AVAs to be, quote, an AVA winery. The winery has to bottle 85% estate-grown grapes. And no one in Yountville does. And I talked to a couple of different property owners, vintners, and they don't. And they don't think much of the AVA as an organization or really have much use for them. The only one in Yountville that might qualify, and I don't know if they consider themselves a member of the AVA, but is Cliff Lede. And everybody kind of agrees that that winery would be the one. But as far as my research shows that no one is in it. Even the ones that Google names, and names quite a few of them, they're not in it because they don't do estate bottled wines. So Judy and I have kind of abandoned the AVA because we could make up a list that isn't accurate. Then how do you decide who's in it, who's not? And it just seemed more complicated. And
I would agree.
we're trying to keep it as simple as we can. So then we went to tasting rooms or something more localized, and we did a list of those. But that's really pointing a finger very specifically at business. And hotels might wonder why we didn't do a hotel bench or a restaurant bench.
Well, and also they change. Our
and they
businesses change. Our hotels change.
No question.
And this is going to be permanent.
So we did our list, and we did a lot of work on that. And then we decided, this is not a good idea. So to continue with the wine theme, the simple one is varietals, because we all know what they are. I mean, Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, and so forth, as the list. And Jeffrey added a few others. I'm just trying to make sure with him that they actually grow in Yountville, because that was our prerequisite, that they grow in the Yountville area. Not necessarily AVA, but these are Yountville grown wines. so that somebody could sit on the book, have the picture taken, and say, you know, I've never had a Malbec, and look up where they can find a Malbec in Yountville, and who's bottling a Malbec, and go to that business, which is a indirect referral to a business here in town.
So we're still talking about books and a title on a book.
Mm-hmm.
So are we just going to put the varietal, or are we going to put, all about Cabernet or something?
Again, Jeffrey has done a list that's kind of more like you're talking about. He calls Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc, for example, King Cab. Merlot is magical Merlot. Sauvignon Blanc is subtle Sauvignon Blanc. Chardonnay is Queen Chardonnay. Syrah, sensuous Syrah, and so forth. It gets a little complicated to me. It gets a little wordy.
I don't know that I love it. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I don't know that I'd love that.
No, I'm sure he'd appreciate your consideration, and I appreciate that he went through these.
Yeah.
But the other thing, if you think about it, we don't usually do like a site-specific sculpture, like an artist is going to make it for this location, and he's really not. We haven't consulted him about that. We're making the decision, but in this case, we have talked about and I think agreed upon that middle pad along Villaggio. And what is the backdrop? The backdrop is a vineyard. And it says to me marketing. It says to me a great pairing with Wine Story or Love Wine, and another photo app, a really clean marketing photo app. So, and there's no legal restriction.
I'm just thinking out loud. What if we had something that said like, again, I'm just thinking out loud, but like a guide to grape growing, a guide to, I don't know, just things that are related to the making of wine, the history of barrel making, I don't know, I'm just thinking of things that are more general about wine overall.
Well, we do have to find a title for Across the Top, so something has to be a catch-all. I don't know, maybe I've just been through so many scenarios.
Stories of the Vineyard?
Well, or I thought, Yountville, Library of Wines.
Oh, I like that.
The varietals of Yountville, or the story of wine, Yountville.
I like that too.
So we can frame it with the fact that these are wines, and with a kind of a subtle understatement that these are found in Yountville.
I like that.
So those are the two concepts, and I know I'm sort of laying this on you. I don't mean to, because we have had a month to work on it, but I don't know if we wait until April to make a decision if he can have it by June, which is when he's coming out here. So,
Well, I think we have to go with something more generic, whether it's the history or whether it's the wines, because I've had a career in securing intellectual properties for television and for films. And even if you get them, it's quite a process, chasing after people.
Yeah.
And someone will probably want to see a legal document from the Arts Commission.
It's
or
too
the town of
laborious.
It's extremely laborious, and I would pretty much guarantee you will not make the deadline you're trying to make. It will be so tedious, and I heartily recommend we do not ask forgiveness after the fact.
Okay.
It's a small valley.
well, and the
And-
liability to the town, I don't want to do it.
I would not support that. I would not vote for that. So I think we have to go one of the other directions where we're not making something up, but doing something more
But
generic.
highlighting something else. Well, Rhonda, I really like the ones that you just went over. I thought those, resonate.
Is there one you liked more than the other? I can read them again.
Yes.
So this would be across the top band, and then we would have the names of, as I said, there's 17. If I include the latest ones that Jeffrey sent me, there would be 17 different wine varietals, which I'm not sure about some of them, but Jeffrey's the wine guy. So we would have those on the books, and then across the top it would be either Yountville, Library of Wines, or the varietals of Yountville, or the story of wine, Yountville.
I like the Library of Wine, and I think we should just list the varietals, not
Name them.
make them, not name them.
I agree.
I
I
think
agree.
it's not, well, I understand, and I know a lot of work has gone into this, but it seems it should just be the name.
Yeah, I agree.
It's otherwise it can get,
I agree.
some of them can get a little too cute.
Right.
And it seems disrespectful.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. And what if we, instead of saying the Library of Wine, what if we said Library Wines of Yountville?
That has a different connotation.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
A library wine is an aged wine.
Right,
It's
exactly.
Released at certain times, and these are pretty generic.
And you're also when you put a varietal on each book, it could be it's very much like an encyclopedia, or it just has the name on it. It makes perfect sense. This is a library of wine. This is the book on Cabernet. This
I like
is the book
it.
on Chardonnay.
I like it.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It's to the point, and it makes sense. And it's a great photo op.
Right,
Still.
it is.
I think it's a great marketing tool. I like the intelligence of the book theme, and I'm a book person, and I wish we could solve simply the issues with the books, and it surprises me. Even when everything seems to be on our side, there's all these other things that crop up, including David's. What David just said, which I've never heard of from anybody, and we've all talked quite a bit about this. So, anyway,
The other thing that comes to mind in this sort of conversation is there's something really cool about the public art in Yountville. There's an invitation to interact with it in some way. And I think when you start putting titles on things, I'm not talking about giving the bench a name, but like when you think about book titles, for example, partly it's the way the sculpture presents, but partly it's also the meaning that people give to titles, right? So there's a kind of, it becomes a sort of monument, and then it becomes something that that maybe the intention isn't to have it be perceived as a monument. The intention is to have it be perceived as really something fun for people to think about when they're here, and a photo op, as you put it. And so it does seem cleaner, more simple, more straightforward, just to name the wine,
Is this something that we can vote on?
it is.
Can I move that we name the bench the Library of Wine?
Yountville.
Yountville Library of Wine, or Library of Wine, Yountville, what was it that you,
Yountville,
Yountville Library of
Library
Wine.
of Wines. Yeah.
And then on the books that we just list the varietal, but without any other.
We don't want to call it the Yountville Sip and Stroll.
Photo op.
There's your marketing.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Okay. I think you said that perfectly.
Okay.
Hillary, did you get all of that?
Let me just say it back to make sure we're clear. Approve the sculpture with the name Yountville Library of Wines with the wine varietals listed on the book spines.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I second.
Okay. there's a move to approve as stated. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all. So it's unanimously approved. And I'll keep you informed how all this is going. But I appreciate it because I think it's, as much as I hate to give up those books.
I know, I do too, but you know what, given the circumstances, I think it's the best possible alternative, and I think it's going to be fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. I love hearing
I second that.
That's great. It's really important to hear that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
I think we just also have to double check, and maybe that has already been done, that these varietals are grown in the vineyards here.
We have all done that,
Okay,
but
great.
you're welcome to join me.
No. If that's been done.
The only ones, and you don't see them, but Jeffrey sent me one is on 1, 2, 3, 4 others that are a little more, other than Zinfandel, which is there, a little more less thought of, and I don't know. I asked him if he could verify that they're Yountville. If they are, great. If they're not, then we just won't use them.
Okay.
But the idea is that they are, because we're saying Yountville, and that's what we want. And I think the photo op is just nonstop. Yountville on it, with the great sculpture that it is, with the vineyard behind it.
Absolutely.
Perfecto.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for a great discussion and for all of your work. So helpful. Appreciate it. The only other art walk update I'd like to talk about briefly is the tours, which we kind of touched on. Sam did a breakdown of when they are and where we need the help. So I've got the March 10th at Vanderleer Park, which is the Visit Napa Valley tour. And it's only an hour, and it says 20 people. We don't know that yet, right? I
No,
can
we don't
do
know
it.
that yet. They'll confirm, like, soon.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me, but I don't have a problem with 20 people and doing it myself.
Okay.
So if nobody wants to do that, because we have a lot of them, I'm fine with it, Caitlin.
Okay.
So you just keep me informed what we're doing.
Yeah, of course.
It's an hour,
Yes.
and it'd be just fine. And then we have the Unidos. Is that how you pronounce it?
Unidos?
You what?
Unidos.
Unidos Middle School. And that's the one we were talking about earlier. So we have Jim McDonald and David. Thank you so much, David. And we need 2 more. That's on March 23rd. And on March 24th, we have a maybe from PJ. You're going to confirm.
Yes.
So thank you for that. I know when I'm about to do an art walk tour, because I walk in the morning, I think a lot of us do, I just put that QR code on my phone and I head out. And you can listen to it while you're walking.
Yeah.
And you're all here in town, so you could even walk the art walk and just take a look. It's really helpful to refresh. And Caitlin gave us these great notes. So I hope you feel comfortable with it.
I have a question, if I may, because the tour is 50 minutes, and I don't anticipate there being enough time to cover every single one.
You wouldn't have.
So we can just pick and choose what ones to stop at? Mm-hmm. Okay.
With that many children, I'm sure you're not going to make great time, I wouldn't think.
Right. So I guess I'd like to maybe just get an idea to say how many sculptures should we try to cover in that time.
Sometimes it's better to plan a route, so you stay in an
Yeah.
area rather than trying to cover one that's at one end of town and make it to the other end.
Exactly. Well, that was kind of my thinking too, that I would maybe just create my own little route.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you almost have to, and you might feel more comfortable with some sculptures, more than others.
Right. and some that I think the kids might enjoy more than others.
Like Rocky.
Yeah.
Or
Because I think that they're probably going to want to have photo ops, and, I might want to ask them some questions, what are their thoughts about something, or what do they notice that's unusual, things like that. Like talk a little bit about the sculpture,
Sure.
but then it's probably going to be 5 or 10 minutes of them all wanting photos and having something to say. And so I would anticipate maybe only being able to hit, half a dozen or so sculptures.
I'm saying it's about 8 to 10 sculptures.
Okay,
It's
okay.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Per tour?
So 9:30
Yeah.
to
Okay.
12
Per group.
is 2 tours?
I'm
Or
sorry?
9:30, the time she gave me was 9:30 to 12.
Yes.
Is that 2 different tours, or that's one whole tour? Because that's kind of a long,
That's 2 different.
2 different times.
Yeah, because then they're
One-
going to have their lunch and then they depart.
Then another one
Yeah.
comes in?
Well, they leave. So we have 100 students on each day. And so you're going to take, the first group is going to be 50, and then the other half will be staying back with us, the Parks and Rec team, to do activities and stuff like that. And then once you guys are done with the first tour group, then we're going to rotate them out. And then they'll have their lunch, and then they'll head back.
Caitlin, is that for the Unidos tour?
Yeah, so
also?
that's for both days.
That's
So it's
okay.
100 students per day,
So 50 in a tour?
split between each one of you guys. So it's going
So
to
if
be
there's
about
like 3
10
tour
to,
guides, you're all going to
so
have like
3
15
to 4
kids.
groups per. So it's going to be depending on how many individuals we have signed up to do the tour. We're going to split the 50 students between the
Okay.
you guys.
And it sounds like each tour could be an hour and a half. Does
Well-
that sound right to you?
An
This
hour.
says it's-
An hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
This said, so you just lead the tour for about 50 minutes door to door.
So you've got 50 kids for it starts at 10, right? 10-ish?
10.
You got 50 kids between 10 and noon, 100 kids between 10 and noon, half of which are going to be doing Parks and Rec activities.
Yes.
And the other half are touring, and then we're gonna
We're
rotate
going to
them.
rotate them
Okay.
out, and then you're
So
going to
everybody's
going to
do an activity, and everyone's going to do
Okay.
a tour.
Yes.
So it sounds like we'll have like 25 kids in each tour if there's only 2 of us doing.
Yes, if there's only 2 of you, but we're hoping to get at
To
least
have-
4.
Okay.
I'm out of
Ideally.
town. I'm sorry to say I'm out of town, or I would help on
Okay.
this.
And then I'm just also, again, thinking out loud, if we have, multiple tours going on, we need to maybe check with one another to know what sculptures we're planning to go to, so we're not overlapping on each other stepping on each other.
When I've given art tours in the past, if I start down at the end, say Free Spirit, now we're talking maybe 5 people or something, like not kids.
Right.
I can, in a relaxed stroll, I can guide people up to Vandeleur Park in an hour and a half, maybe 2, depending on questions from them. It's a long area and a lot of attention for those kids, I'm guessing.
But we're only doing 50 minutes with them, so,
Oh, yeah.
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 So, I don't know, it sounds like maybe starting at the chamber. In my head, I'm thinking start at the mushrooms and go to Vanderlyn
So
Park.
you guys can decide. Usually how we did it last year was the docents sort of got together before and decided which direction they would head. So
Okay.
like we had one group start out south, so start out where the mural was and that sort of stuff, and then head north. And then we had another group head north and then head south with the students. And then others decided whether they were going to start like at Pamplona,
Okay.
or they were going to start at Vandeleur Park and sort of like
So what
wander
would-
around, so you don't have like a cluster of
Right.
docents and students all at once.
So the original email that we had said start at the Commons and return to the Commons because,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, because that's where we're going to have all of the students. So
Okay,
at the
right.
Schmitz, we're going to have all 100. So you're going to there, and then we'll split out to do, and then come and bring back
Okay.
through all of that.
Okay.
before. We'll send out an email to clarify everything, and
Okay.
sure you guys are all set.
3 too.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah, yeah,
Because-
exactly. Well, I'm just thinking if we're starting at the Commons and returning there in 50 minutes, we probably wouldn't even make it all the way down to the mural and back.
No, I don't
mean,
think
that
you
that
would.
would be too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
don't think
All right, thank you. I was just trying to
Yeah.
wrap my arms around the logistics of it, and, okay, perfect.
You do a test run for yourself too,
Yeah.
you know? You've got time, yeah. So, but we need more volunteers here. And I think we're waiting to hear confirmation from Steve Rogers also. I haven't heard anything from him, but,
He mentioned that he thought he wasn't going to be available for at least one of them. I saw an email.
Yeah,
But he might
was
be.
waiting. I haven't heard confirmation, but I think he was waiting to confirm that he might be out and not available.
so anyway, just, think about it. I know you will, and we appreciate the help, whatever you can do. Thank you. So, and then there's another one on June 2nd, which is Vandeleur. I think, is that the way it's set up at Vandeleur Park? I think, for the podcast group.
For June 2nd, I believe so. I don't know, though.
I don't know either. There's probably details
It's
to
going to
come.
be for the All-In podcast. So it's a huge group of people that are going to be here in town.
Yeah, that's great. So, anyway, okay. Obviously Sam
It'll
and
be
Kate.
like when a cruise ship comes to town. Gets off the cruise ship. Suddenly the town will just have lots and lots of visitors.
It'll be fun.
And that is what we want.
Exactly.
That is the goal.
Exactly.
Okay, so just, keep thinking about it if something opens up or changes for you, or if you think of somebody who might give an art walk tour that we haven't talked to, keep it in mind, and we appreciate it. Okay, so that was, I think, my very long-winded art walk. Thank you for your help. Next is the gallery subcommittee, which is Jeffrey's report.
Saw that.
And
Here we go.
yeah, okay. So the schedule is as shown. There's another artist that Jeffrey and I have been communicating about that would be a 2027 artist, so we're already moving into 2027. Nothing much has been done other than we both like the work, so. There is an error, just FYI, the name of the Chaz Pulido show is Splatter in Motion, the action art of Chaz Pulido. So, yeah, just FYI. So any questions about that?
No.
Jeffrey's really on top of all of this. I have not talked to Catherine Zimmer just to get her tuned up, because she installs, I think, the end of the month, doesn't she?
It's going to be in the beginning of next month that she's going to be installing.
Because we have to paint the wall.
Yeah, I'm going to be painting. I will be painting the wall back at the end of the month after the photo finale closing reception. I have been in contact with Catherine
Okay.
for the last couple months. We've been emailing and calling back and forth to.
Recently?
Yeah, I
Great.
think I emailed her just last week
Perfect.
because I have her flyer and the rec guide, and then we're going to be working on her labels and like all of that stuff.
I mean, she's very organized.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, that's great. Then, if there's nothing else on the Arts Commission, on the Gallery Subcommittee, then move on to Literary. And the Handwritten Out Loud is coming up this Sunday. I don't know if it's sold out yet. It wasn't sold out on the weekend, so there might be still an opportunity if anybody wants to go and wants to get tickets. I think that's pretty much it. 4 to 6 p.m. I think that I can't remember. I think it's $15 each person. Includes a splash of wine and whatever. And he has 17 presenters with 23 original works, so that's quite a few. Mm-hmm. So good for Jeffrey and Mary Kate. Thank you from Handwritten, who has, as always, spends a lot of time working on these, but she's very positive, and she says she really loves this, so it's great that she's there to handle it, and Jeffrey, of course, always handles it flawlessly. And then on the bookmark story contest, he's still working on the translation for the Spanish entries, and the submission dates are open on April 6th, so that's coming up. Yes, still has some more time. And then the Writers' Roundtable meets are met on February 24th with 5 people, and he still seems very positive about that. I think they meet, it meets again in April, so it's supposed to be every month. Any questions about the literary update?
No.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Noelle. Marketing.
Marketing. Starting with the gallery, the Chamber sent out a wonderful email blast, and I just missed getting it in last month's report because it came out after I filed it. So it was at the end of January, beginning of February. But they were really supporting Photo Finale, which is ongoing and really doing very well continually. And then for Art Sip and Stroll, we have quite a bit going on. The ad has been submitted for 6557 magazine, and for Art Sip and Stroll, which we shared with you during our last session together last month, and that's really beautiful and put together by Catherine Zimmer. And then also we have an article about Catherine Zimmer in the spring issue, and all of that has been submitted along with photo assets of her and her work. And also 6557 Art Sip and Stroll article. So we have an ad on Art Sip and Stroll, an article on Art Sip and Stroll, and an article on Catherine Zimmer. So I'd say we're very well represented in people reading about the event. So we're very excited about that. There was also on February 6th, the Chamber newsletter that went out. They had the poster art for Art Sip and Stroll and all kinds of information. So they're very involved in the marketing of the event. We secured the PUC student to shoot some video for us. So we'll have some new video to insert into our Art Sip and Stroll video that we use for marketing for next year. So we're excited about that. And then KRON, Channel 4, there's going to be an interview on Art Sip and Stroll on April 8th, and Sam and Natalie will be there talking about it. So broadcast coverage is really fabulous. Then as far as the Art Walk in Napa Valley Life, we submitted an article and photo assets on sculptor Richard Starks, who did Love Wine too. So that's going to be very nice. And he really, I've read the article already, he really supports Yountville Arts in the article. It's an article about him, but he's such a prominent part of our art walk, and he's so appreciative for all that we do, and we are so appreciative for all that he does. We thought it was a great fit for an article, and that will be coming out with a lot of beautiful photos.
That's not until...
That's not until the summer issue. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves intentionally with Napa Valley Life, because you really have to just think of which artists will work well with what's going on in our town and what's going on with our gallery and our art walk. So we've been really intentional about what artists we suggest. So that is coming in the summer issue. And then we're already working on a story for the next issue after that. But the writer has said, I've lined it all up. She said, we could just wait a little bit. We're way ahead of ourselves. So we're gonna start that article in terms of it being written in June. So we're in really good shape with Napa Valley Life and artists. And then let's see. Oh, and then KGO Local-ish is coming on March 25th, and they're filming Pet-Friendly Yountville with Cindy Caption and Hospitality Hounds.
Cute.
And Tom Fuller asked if we can add in a little bit of the art walk. So we don't have the details yet, but somehow the hounds will be on the art walk, and we'll have some conversation about the art walk.
Cute.
And as soon as we know more about that, we'll share. But I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
We have Rocky, the
I was gonna
hospitality
say,
hound.
Rocky.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
the leader
Rocky
of the
would
pack.
Make it pretty easy, right?
And I'm sure Cindy will supply her 2 dogs, and off we'll go.
Oh, I bet Cindy has a whole group.
I'm sure. I'm excited to hear what's going to happen. But right now it's under wraps and in the planning stages. So all I can share is that they will be here and filming. So that's exciting.
Well, and did you see, I got an email from something, it was benefits the Napa Humane Society, that they have something called the Pawsport,
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
passport.
Right.
And there was a whole bunch of the tasting rooms in Yountville that are participating in that.
They do that every year.
So cute. I
fun.
never had seen that before.
Yeah. I guess their marketing is getting better.
You need a dog.
Marketing is important.
Say that again.
You need a dog.
Yeah, I know. To borrow one.
Then, as far as the Yountville Arts Commission overall, the story that I secured for June, which is actually for a further issue down the line, but it's on hold for being written, is a story about open studios, because Rhonda informed me that Yountville Arts is very involved with open studios this year and has committed to helping market, and also will be having events here in town. So we'll make sure to gear that article towards what's going on in Napa Valley and Napa, but also the Yountville involvement in it. So Gary Lavender, who's on the steering committee, will be the point of contact and will give the interview, and we're really excited about that, too. And then we have a Zoom call next week, Rhonda and Sam and I, to talk to the publishers of Visit Napa Valley magazine, because we're considering placing an ad. And we want to find out a little bit more about distribution and just numbers and their media strategies and so on and so forth. So it really has a lot of distribution and is everywhere. So we think that'll be of value. But we do want to talk with them first, because we would also like to get some additional editorial content in there above and beyond the ads, because the ads are native advertising. Their ads look like editorial content, even though it's paid for. So, but then there's also a couple pages on the arts in Napa Valley, and we are going to try and do our best to also get something covered in it, in just editorial, because quite honestly, I'm very proud to say, and I'm sure all of you are, that I think Yountville has some of the best, if not the best, art in terms of presentation and gallery and just commitment in all of Napa Valley. So hopefully we can make that happen too. I am going to be meeting with the Good Day Sacramento people early this month. I've prepared a bunch of material to send to them so they can study up on Yountville arts. I've sent them articles and websites and videos and many things. So before I even talk with them about the kinds of segments we may produce and there'll be easily 4 segments that they'll be up to speed, and I quite honestly feel that they do get up to speed before they come in, so they can really prepare to film. So that's going to be happening. The actual filming will be on April 20th, which is nice because it's positioned right before Art Sip and Stroll, and we're going to try and do a piece on Art Sip and Stroll. So that is in the works, and that's everything. Yeah,
That was plenty. That was great.
lots going on.
Thank you we were all speechless when you moved us into magazines, and now you've got us on TV.
Well, some of that we have to thank Fuller and Sanders and other people for. But the reason we are getting TV is because we've gotten to a place with Yountville Arts where the word is out, and the events are becoming more and more prominent. And the art walk and everything is really escalating, so there's reason for broadcast to want to come out. And that's thanks to everyone's hard work on the committee, on the commission.
Great. Thank you, Noelle.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really excited. A lot going on.
There's a lot.
For all of us in all areas.
I have to quit reading March 20th instead of April 20th because I think I'm going to be gone on March 20th. Anyway.
That's okay, as long as you're here on April 20th.
I'm sure I have it down. Okay. Well, great. Thank you.
Oh.
All right. So, PJ.
Yes, okay. Just a couple of small updates, because I know last month at our meeting we submitted the whole laundry list of all the events that we've got planned and the dates and whatnot. But I believe so far for our Legacy Roundtable that is scheduled for Wednesday, August 5th, which is the Art of Entertaining, Judy has secured Gina Baldridge to do her segment on the art of the charcuterie board.
Oh, fun.
So we've got one set, 3 more to go to fill those slots. And then I believe we have settled for the Friday, September 11th movie night in the park on the film A Good Year. I don't know if everyone has seen that film,
it's
but
fabulous.
it's a romantic comedy, 2006, directed by Ridley Scott, and it stars Russell Crowe and Marion Cotillard, and it's about a London banker who inherits his uncle's vineyard in Provence.
Oh, have fun.
So it should be a really fun film. And so we will be working on securing someone fun to come and do the intro, and also the wineries to do some pouring prior to the start of the film. That's it for now.
Well, I think the parade was after our last meeting. Did you want to say a few words about the parade?
Judy, I wish she were here.
She were here
because
too.
all I can say is like hail to her, because I mean, she did everything for that parade.
She did.
And she made those fabulous artist palettes. She showed up with charcuterie and champagne for those of us that were participating.
Seriously.
She had incorporated her brother and her brother-in-law, I think it was, and sister-in-law, and they all played along, and everybody was festively attired. And thank you to you and to Linda, who came along to join in the fun. And I was so happy and shocked that apparently there was a best float in the parade, and Yountville Arts Commission won. So
No one more shocked than us.
I know, right? Honestly, but it ended up being so much fun, and yes, so hail to Judy, and I'm sorry she's not here.
Hail
Be careful
to Judy.
what you wish for.
Judy walked the whole route, and you two were talking the whole time. You were in the cab with the window open.
Mm-hmm.
And Judy was saying, "We bring the arts to Yountville. We bring
Oh,
the,"
my
and
gosh.
she's
She was
talking to all the kids along the way. And
It's fantastic. I was the
great.
tambourine player the whole
Yes.
time along the way.
Anyway, it was a great job. Thank you both for
The
your
whole
spirit.
day was fantastic. Thank you to the town and Parks and Rec, because the whole celebration after, with the music and everything else that was going on, everybody was having so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was in a good mood. I still see the beads in my.
You were blessed with great weather, so yeah.
Yeah, we were. Anyway, well, thank you for all the effort putting that together and everything you do. Okay, so we'll move to the mustard celebration. Michael he did a monkey chip, is that what they call it? Or
MailChimp.
MailChimp. I get it wrong every time. But anyway, on the opening event. So I'm going to leave it with you, Caitlin.
Sure.
But it goes through what did you dislike, what did you like. And, as I told him, there's always a liability when you send something out that you're going to get only the things that people didn't like. But in this case, pretty much everybody liked it. Somebody wanted more space in the gallery. Well,
We'd all like that.
Yeah, yeah, we all would. But in reality, if we had had more entries, we could have moved into the founders' room with art. We didn't hang anything in the founders' room, so one played off of the other. But the comments, by and large, are very positive, I think, for the whole event. Some people thought it was confusing, kind of what you would expect with the combination of the chamber event, but even very few of those. So, like I said, I'll give it to you, Caitlin, and do with it as you want. But I don't know if anything has been decided on with the chamber yet. No.
No.
So and do you have any feelings about that? The combination of the chamber event and our event?
I think there's pluses and negatives to either way. So I think it's just really pending further conversation and who's there's also a lot of conversations going on now about which events fall under the town and which events fall under the chamber. So I would imagine that will also play into it, where all the events stay, which is not to say it will necessarily change, but I know a lot, the town and the chamber are working very closely together to try and maximize staff, opportunity, and involvement of businesses to really uplift all the events that we
I think,
have.
which is great, because then everything doesn't have to just fall on the town.
Or on us,
Yeah.
as in this case. But, Michael feels pretty open to whatever we want to do. And he will obviously keep his end of whatever needs to be done for the photo finale next year.
I think whichever way we go, we know it's a solid event, we know it's a well-loved event, and we
Right.
know that wherever the participation goes, it will have the proper marketing, the proper support, and everything will remain equal. And one way or another doesn't deter or add necessarily. I think everybody loves the event.
I agree.
I don't see any notes from Sam, so no. The other thing under the mustard celebration is your hearts, your glass hearts. Are you heartless now?
I was wondering what we've heard. Have they all been found?
Well, I'll let Caitlin tell you, if you haven't already heard, about the big yellow heart.
The big yellow heart was picked up by a local here in town, and he actually found it when he was wandering early in the morning, walking his dog. And then we had a fun little post. I think this is what the one Rhonda's mentioning. I had a woman reach out to me to let me know that on the weekend of Valentine's Day, she was in Vandeleur Park with her boyfriend. And right before he got down on one knee to propose, they had found a heart in Vandeleur Park.
Oh,
And
that's
so
just
she
gave me
got
the
an extra
goosebumps.
treasure
And
to
me
take
too.
with her. They were visiting, I believe, from Idaho, so they're
Oh,
not even
sweet.
local. They were
Wow.
just
Where
happy
did
to
he
be here in
propose to her? Do you know which sculpture?
I don't know, but it was Vandeleur Park.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, this place is going to hold special memories for them for always.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
And
great.
so is that story. I love
Yeah,
hearing
I
that
love
story. Yeah, we do it for our community, and visitors on these weekends are part of our community. So it's great to hear. And they got it. I guess they got what we were doing.
Yeah,
Because they
no,
contacted
absolutely.
Caitlin.
They heard about it, and yeah, they contacted us to let us know.
Great.
That's so great.
Well, I did all my distributing in the dark of night.
So did I.
Okay, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Years at night too.
Yeah.
I ventured in the morning, and I had a couple people trailing me
Okay.
yesterday. But then I stopped by the chamber, and I actually gave a few hearts to our volunteers in
Good.
there, because I'm like, can you just disperse them near the sculptures throughout the day so that we
Great.
have more opportunities
great
for
idea,
people
yeah.
to get one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had fun finding like creative spots to put them, you know, in the sidewalk judge, you know how he's kind of like this? I was able to get the heart like right up in here in between his
I put one
fingers
between
like
the
that.
violin strings
Okay.
on the violinist, like I
Oh,
said.
wow.
And I put one in the sculpture with, I forget, is it Raven? I forget which is
I
Raven
think
and
you
which is
did
Polly.
Rocky, didn't you?
And where the rocks are, and I put it
Raven.
right in with the rocks.
I kind of did that too, was kind of able to tuck it in.
Yeah, and it's just I mean it's exciting, it's fun, and
I put one-
always worry too about as we're skulking around at night that the sheriffs are going to be driving by.
That's what I always think,
and we're
too.
like why are you hanging out here or there late at night, and what are you setting down? What are you doing out there? Yeah. But so far so good.
I put one in Vandeleur Park in the fountain, in the water with all the stones and everything, so somebody would have to reach their hand down
Do you know
there.
it?
I haven't looked, but I would presume so.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
But I tried to put them in creative and spots where they weren't just sitting right there.
Exactly.
Someone would really have to look.
Exactly. It's more fun that way.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, thank you all for staying up late or getting up early or whatever you did. I'm glad you've had fun doing it because
It was fun.
it's a lot to ask, but
It was fun.
it does have a fun message. So, thank you for that. Anything else on Mustard or Art Sip and Stroll? Caitlin, you want to read Sam's notes?
Yeah, so the subcommittee will be meeting this Thursday to finalize our artist list and then go over the event layout. So we will begin notifying artists next week, beginning on March 9th, to notify them about their status of their application. And then we are in the beginning stages of marketing for Art Sip and Stroll, so we already have some ads and stuff running on Instagram and Facebook, but we're really going to boost it in these next couple months with website updates, with all of our artist info for all of those that have been juried in. And then we're also going to be doing some Google and YouTube and other online printed ads. And working on that. And then I've been reaching out to some wineries, and so far we have 12 wineries that have been confirmed, and we've been working closely with the chamber, so very thankful to the chamber for reaching out to all of their partners and sending a lot of wonderful wineries our way. So
Good.
that's been really great.
How many do you want?
I think we're going to try to reach the same as last year, so 20 ideally, so that we can spread it out in each location. That worked, I think, really well last year, and it gives people a little more variety of like what they can use their tasting tokens for. And a number of the people that have already participated in our past events have already been like reaching out. And it was like, wait, did we miss the deadline? Did I miss the email? Can
okay.
we participate?
Oh,
So-
good. That's
so,
good.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
been
that.
great.
That's awesome. I know Sam last meeting had reported on how many tasting packages had been sold. Do we have an update on that?
You know, I don't have a number for that.
Okay.
Maybe you could shoot that to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're all interested in knowing how many.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Be happy to do that.
Great. Thank you, Caitlin. All right, so staff informational reports.
Yeah, this is the least fun, perhaps, of all the items on here, depending on your temperature for trainings. Just a reminder to go ahead and complete your ethics, sexual harassment, and workplace violence prevention plan trainings. Reach out to the clerk's office if you have questions.
When is that due?
March 31st.
Okay.
How did you know that?
We did transition to a new platform that will allow us to more easily track and maintain our records. Previously, people were sending in certificates they may have gotten at an on-site training, or we were getting something from the system. And so compliance-wise, moving forward, this system will allow for the most integrity in our training process. So thank you.
Great.
Is it still an accurate statement to say that if you are a fast learner, you should take all the time to complete it?
I believe that is an accurate statement that
Okay.
still applies.
Okay.
You do not get rewarded from zooming through the training. There is a minimum required
Okay.
time
Okay.
Okay.
for you
Which
to
is 2
diligently
hours.
take notes.
Okay.
Which is 2 hours, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember once I had to do online traffic school, and I was trying to speed my way along.
You were speeding in traffic school?
Yes. And a big red screen popped up with a stop sign. It said, "Stop. You've been caught speeding. You're trying to speed through traffic school." And it threw me back to the very beginning. I had to start all over again. I know.
So
It was many years ago.
It's just a new platform, but it's basically the same.
They will be the same trainings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't do
so
that
it's the software vendor the town uses for staff.
Okay.
So moving everybody to this and then systemizing what date those trainings are completed will, I think, add to our compliance.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Hillary, I know on the email, it tells us who to contact if we have any problem accessing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if it is not, you can reach out to us, but I'm
Okay.
sure that information
Okay.
is there.
Thank you.
Great. Anything else, Hillary or Caitlin?
Nope.
Thank you.
Nothing
Thanks.
else.
Thanks, Hillary. I needed the reminder, so thank you.
I know I did too.
Well, and don't forget your Form 700 either.
Oh, no, that's
And
done.
on another note, don't forget your Form 700.
I'm adding that to the list. Okay.
Okay, any commissioner reports? Noel, anything from the chamber?
I do. I just wanted to share some more exciting news having to do with the town and with the chamber and with the Arts Commission. Is if you participated in the Halloween block party and the Mardi Gras block party, you know that the town currently has what is titled an entertainment zone. And the different wineries that participate, or tasting rooms, fill out forms and get official approval to then have a particular glass that they use. But you can take your glass of wine from the tasting room and you can walk all along Washington. And I believe there is going to be some discussion about changing the name from the entertainment zone to something else, maybe a little less sounding like Chuck E. Cheese, or
Las Vegas.
yeah. So, but that is officially what it is, the entertainment zone. But what's wonderful is it's has been managed more on the down low. Everybody who lives here in town and participates in the events, that they've known about it, but there's going to be a nice marketing program to really push this out right for Art Sip and Stroll. So it's really to elevate that whole weekend, to come to Yountville, to spend the night, to participate in Art Sip and Stroll, but then through the entire weekend you can also grab your glass from the tasting rooms and you can stroll all along Washington Boulevard. So I think the real push now is going to be prior to our event and to really market our event also. And I know the businesses and the hotels are being encouraged to put out material for the event, like the rack cards and so on and so forth. So there's going to be a really strong effort for Art Sip and Stroll from the usual suspects, but even more to promote, which will really be a win-win for everyone.
Thank you. That's great. On the Art Sip and Stroll note, I hope that that's going to be not going to be an issue to the event, only because people are buying their tasting and that they will have a glass. I don't know.
They still have to buy their wine at a tasting room.
Right, I know that.
So, and also there's a whole weekend. It's really about, you can come on Friday, you can after the event. It's really not intended to take away from Art Sip and Stroll because.
I know it's
No,
just
but
people.
I understand what you're saying. But I think it's been very thoughtfully discussed, and it will be planned out. And the
Right.
goal is to encourage more people to come to town to participate in Art Sip and Stroll and stay afterwards, or come earlier, or come the day before, stay the day after.
So, in the past, the event's been over at 5:00 because, and then the wine stopped at 4
Correct.
because the ABC wouldn't allow the wineries to pour after 4, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
So,
An hour before
Or
the end of an event.
Yeah.
so that's not going to matter this time, or?
As far as I know, it still applies for our event. So
My
the
understanding
wineries will
is
be
it would.
pouring till
Really?
4,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
And then at 4 it dries up.
Well, I guess they could take a glass of wine from one of the restaurants and walk down the sidewalk with
Well,
it,
no,
right?
no, they could.
If the restaurants are participating, I'm not sure if the restaurants are participating or
The
just the
wineries all
tasting
close
rooms.
at 4:00, or they stop pouring at 4. Is
I
that-
think the ones that we have participating as vendors in the Sip and Stroll will have to stop pouring an hour beforehand, but someone could still go to one of the
Other
open
wineries,
tasting rooms in town
Good.
along
Why is that?
Washington.
Why wouldn't they be
Each-
allowed to pour until 5:00?
I would think it's a condition of having the specific event permit, which is different than a brick and mortar business entity participating in the entertainment zone.
Yeah.
Because it's a special event, the permitting, I think, would vary compared to that of a brick and mortar establishment.
It would be like the food trucks having to leave at a certain time.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Same kind of.
Yeah.
We can do more research to confirm. I'm just hypothesizing, but it makes sense that the event would have its own special, unique ABC permit, which differs from what a business would be processing for an easy permit.
I would think you're correct on
It
that.
might be that way, but maybe in the future we could, when we're doing the application for Art Sip and Stroll, we could coordinate the hours of pouring. I mean, it ends at 5. It always causes an issue, is the reason I bring it up. Because people don't think,
Right.
that that the winery's gonna stop.
All of a sudden,
at
they're
4.
I've been guilty of
All of a
that.
sudden, and we hear it all the time. So, and we've always said, well, ABC doesn't allow us to pour after 4:00. But now if the whole town is pouring,
Right.
I would want to look specifically at language that states alcohol serving must end an hour prior to an event. I think that special event-wise, that is probably risk management in terms of people then moving in vehicles or away from a special event location. So that might be specific to special event permitting.
That makes sense.
I will find out. I will find out and report back.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Absolutely.
right. I'm sure you're
Yeah,
right.
no, I mean, I don't dabble in the special events world much, but just thinking about why and how it might work, that's an initial thought, but I will definitely confirm for you, Tricia.
Thanks, Hillary. Thank you. Appreciate it. I know you're busy. Thank you.
Research, so not a problem.
It'll be fun. Well, that's great. Are there any other commissioner reports? And Linda often comments on the foundation, but it hasn't met, and she's unfortunately not here. So we don't have that. And I don't know of any others unless you have them. Okay. So then, Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn, and all in favor, aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? So, yay. All right.